What is going on, Preston? Good to
What's
see
up,
you.
Frank?
It's
Good to
been
see you too.
a whole 48 hours or so. I'm still recovering from the conference a little bit. I don't know. How are you feeling?
Oh, I am still in recovery mode myself. Conferences are always basically working yourself to the bone the whole time you're there.
We were talking with people basically from the time we got up until the wee hours of the morning, but a lot of great stuff, a lot of great connections. Just what want to give me just a quick recap of some of the meetings that you attended, some of the people that you talked to, and how they were thinking, how they like.
Yeah, overall, it was really cool to see just the basically the growth of the energy in the crypto space over the last few years. There was a lot of people there. It seemed to be very well represented for all different kinds of projects and different kinds of companies, different sizes of different things. And just every crypto project, I feel like, everyone kind of has the same set of challenges. So things like growing quality communities, finding the right kinds of influencers and partners and investors to work with. So it was really nice to be in the middle of the ocean, let's say, in Austin, although it was quite hot in Austin, I will say. It's very practically a desert over there. But we had a couple of really interesting meetings and interesting leads with some of the companies on the floor, a few different layer ones, companies like Radix. So we'll be following up with these companies over this week and next week. And again, most of them were really interested in the ideas that we're working with, things like being able to really measure influence of these different people on social media, as well as be able to arrange their communities and grow their communities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's great news for us that this is exactly what Mainline's trying to solve there. What were some of the kind of like specific things that they mentioned that were, I guess, troubling them right now, or things they haven't quite figured out or still trying to solve, I guess?
Yeah, I think a big one is just being able to see through vanity metrics. If someone has a ton of engagement or a ton of followers, who is actually real and legitimate versus who's bought and paid for those vanity metrics. That seems to be a pretty significant problem across the board, from projects that are looking for the different kinds of influencers to pull into the fold, but also VCs and investment groups, especially now, that are really looking to find quality projects that have grassroots support. So it remains a pretty significant challenge to try to really suss out like who's real and who's not on social.
Yeah, like I would figure, especially now with everything happening in the market and maturing like that, there's a even bigger need to know like who's real. And especially when these VC companies are hiring what, dozens, hundreds of influencers to talk about their projects and things like that. That's gotta be a lot of money they could be wasting.
Yeah, for sure. People are charging thousands of dollars per post on Twitter and hundreds of thousands of dollars on YouTube. I know you're probably in the know of some of those numbers there with your own projects over there. Pretty insane amount of money moving around there. And it's difficult, again, to know what the real quality of that kind of stuff is, and even have a sense for what the ROI is going to be once it's all said and done.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think, based on some of the conversations that you had at Consensus here, what's next steps for Mainline? Where are we going to be heading to help solve those problems?
Yeah, I think we're really double clicking on authenticity and social capital scoring and identification, right? Making it really easy to consume that data in a way that's not confusing, and in a way that any kind of project or investor can capitalize on quickly. Because a lot of times the problem is that maybe you'll find out that someone's not for real, but it's a little bit too late. So I think that signal was very clear. So I think the focus for us in the near term here is really aligning ourselves and our product direction with these use cases and users that the signal really popped out of the noise for at the conference. That, and then also again the community engine evangelist mode that we've been working on, that really was very attractive to people too. On one hand, we want to make sure that the larger people that we're working with that are going to help promote our stuff are real. And on the other hand, we want to make sure that we can be growing the grassroots community engagement as well, because that's really where, the magic happens, is when, you not only have, of course, the popular guys that are saying good things about you, but that you're able to really build a baseline of community members that are there to support you. And again, especially now with the markets the way that they are, I think it's really going to be coming down to who has real sustainable value and who can best marshal their community to drive that message forward.
Yeah, I really like what you said there at the beginning with that social capital. That's something you and Chris started talking about at the conference here. And I think with the way like currency and our idea of value is, that social capital is going to be a really big thing in the future, because that's, essentially what a lot of these projects and influence and their stuff are. That is their value. That is their thing. Knowing who is real, like you said, is going to be even more and more important, I think, as we keep going in this social media world, crypto world. So that's really cool. That's awesome to hear that people are enjoying that, interested in that. We'll definitely have to talk more soon about that community engine stuff when that keeps coming out. Just kind of tie it up and wrap it up here. What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
I think my big takeaway was the prices of things and the markets might ebb and flow. Just obviously right now it's more of an ebb cycle, but the value proposition of crypto and of the blockchain in general has really never been more clear for people. So while there might be a lot of panic selling right now, or dip buying, or all kinds of pundits saying all kinds of things, this is a way different landscape than it was in, say, 17, 18, where there was still a question of if this stuff is real and if there'd be sustainable value to it. So I think the experience at the conference and just getting the general vibe and the general pulse of everyone, it made it clear that this industry is here to stay. And I think the next cycle here is going to begin soon. Obviously, I think we have a bit of a cycle, the end of one of the cycles right now, but I think the beginning of the next is going to be when there's real uptake with real sustainable use cases that range everything from IDs for refugees to new financial and decentralized financial applications, to things like what we're doing, where it's like being able to monitor and store and track ideas of social capital of ideas and people.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that's a really great point, is that we're going to see some of these ebbs and flows here, because it's still a very new market. I think a lot of people forget just how new crypto is yet. And that community aspect in these kind of downturns is going to continue to be more and more important when maybe a token or a project is down in the charts, and maybe they aren't really going to be releasing anything because no one's buying stuff right now. So having that involved and engaged community throughout those bad times is probably going to be the difference between projects making it through and the ones that shut down. And we're seeing more and more projects folding as the markets get worse. Just one more last thing, just tell us a little bit more about that community piece that you've seen with these different projects, and how having that good community has been helping them weather these storms.
Yeah, I think having an authentic community is really the most important thing. The first community to go away is the fake one, the one that's built on bots and like overpaying for vanity metrics. So I think the focus on authenticity and the focus on really, building quality conversation around your product is more important than ever, because right now, probably not a lot of retail investors are shopping for new projects to get into pre-sales or to buy their tokens or to make a Coinbase account. But again, like never before, the sort of use case and the promise of the industry has never been clearer. So I think aligning with the projects that really do cool things is going to be this phase here. And the communities that have the most authentic engagement and the best quality conversation, those are going to be the ones that thrive through this time here. To me, it's very similar to the traditional VC software as a service type investment space where up market, down market, it doesn't really matter. What matters is quality projects always manage to survive and find funding. Maybe always is a strong word, but in other words, if there's really something of value there, it has a chance to thrive in any kind of market. So hopefully, if anybody's, I'm sure everybody's probably a bit hair on fire right now, trying to suss out how they're going to survive over the next however long this will be. I think the big thing to remember is that quality and value is what people look for all the time, especially when things are rough.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. And those projects that do have that strong community that can weather these storms then end up looking way more favorable to the VCs and the institutional investors when they are ready to put money back into the market. So it's definitely going to be an interesting time. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I think we're in a great spot with everything that we're trying to do with Mainline to help these projects weather the storm. And it's gonna be some really great stuff for those who can tough it out. And I know I'm ready for it. Yeah, I'm buckling in, I'm strapping in, and I'm ready to go here. Just any final remarks, comments, things you want to share to our own community and to whoever is watching here?
Yeah, I really jibe with what you just said there, where it's like tough it out, keep the faith, all kinds of like everything. There's ebbs and flows and ups and downs and cycles to everything. Not to get caught up too much into the day to day, which can be very stressful. I know I was very stressed yesterday looking at just blood everywhere. But the point is, that's just the nature of things. Accepting that and being zen about that, I think, is a good first step. It's also a very difficult step. You just gotta keep emotional salience about the situation. But that would be my parting thought is just keep your head on straight and we can navigate these waters just like we always have.
Absolutely, absolutely. Awesome. Thanks for the update from the conference. It sounds like a lot of really good conversations and things to have. And we're going to be having a lot more of these talks coming in the coming weeks and months here to keep everybody up to date and abreast of what's going on with Mainline. So appreciate your time, Preston, and we'll let you get back to work and keep building cool things.
Thanks, friend. Appreciate it.